So continuing with the last session, in this session that we have discussed about the OTEC energy, that is the ocean thermal energy conversion. So the ocean thermal energy conversion is a process or technology for producing energy by harnessing the temperature differences, that is thermal gradient, means dT over dx, means the temperature is varying over the length of the path between ocean surface waters and deep ocean waters. So this energy is again depend upon the solar energy, and ocean surface water means when the radiations of solar energy falls on the surface of the ocean, that air and the water is heated up. So the water which is on the surface of the ocean is having higher temperature than the water which is very much depth on the from the surface of the ocean. So there is a temperature difference T1 and T2, that is T1 and T2. T1 is, we can say, source, T2 is sink. So from we know that concept of thermodynamics, if there is a temperature difference and one is at source, that is higher temperature, and second is at T2, that is sink at the lower temperature, so that temperature we can utilize for some commercial work or some energy transfer. So in this, what is happening, energy from the sun heats the surface water of the ocean. In tropical regions, surface water can be much warmer than deep water. So higher temperature, that water is convert the heat of that source or T1 temperature is utilized to convert the working fluid into vapor form, and that vapor is utilized to push or to run the blade of the turbine, and therefore the turbine is used to produce electricity. After that, the pressure of the vapor reduces, and that vapor is converted into water by using the lower temperature of the deep ocean water, that is T2. So thereby this liquid working fluid is again recirculated for the operation by converting this working fluid into vapor form by taking the heating from source. So this temperature difference can be used to produce electricity and to desalinate ocean water. Ocean thermal energy conversion (OTEC) systems use a temperature difference of at least 77 degrees Fahrenheit to power a turbine to produce electricity. Warm surface water is pumped through an evaporator containing a working fluid. The vaporized fluid drives a turbine and thereby generator to produce electricity. The vaporized fluid is turned back to liquid in a condenser cooled with cold ocean water pumped from deeper in the ocean. OTEC systems using seawater as the working fluid can use the condensed water to produce desalinated water. Now this is a diagram. From this diagram we can easily understand that how the electricity is generated through OTEC process. So here solar radiations, this is the top surface of ocean. This is the top surface of the ocean, and solar radiations are coming from the sun, falls on this surface, and the surface of the water get heated, and therefore we can say that this is the source and having temperature T1. So this is the source that is at temperature T1. Now this water is having, this heated water is used to convert the working fluid which is in liquid form into vapor stage, and that vapor liquid is used to run the turbine, means the blades of the turbine by impacting the high pressure of this vapor will use to run the turbine blades, and thereby the turbine is used to run the generator. And therefore electricity is produced at this end. This is the load center. Means for some commercial purposes, for giving the electricity to the homes, houses, or some industrial purposes also. After that, this vapor is, the pressure of the vapor of the working fluid is get reduced, and this vapor is converted into liquid form by using the heat of this cold water. This is T2, that is sink. So utilizing this heat, means at lower temperature, that is sink, this vapor form of working fluid is converted into liquid form, and also and then again this liquid working fluid is circulated through this upper, means utilizing this energy of source, again converted into vapor form, and therefore this process continues again and again. Now there are advantages of OTEC. The OTEC process exploits the temperature difference between the warm surface and cold water to produce electricity. In India, the condition for operation of OTEC plant are favorable because of this temperature difference that remains constant throughout the year. In most of the time, and certain reasons are there where the temperature difference remains constant, and therefore we are easily, means to run the plant, this is necessary condition, so that when the energy is, means the pressure, because of this pressure will remains constant, and therefore the turbine is easily capable to run the generator and electricity is produced. Inexpensive transmission of electricity is possible provided the OTEC plant is less than 30 km from the seashore. There are certain disadvantages of this OTEC. At greater distance, the transmission cost of electricity is increased. Means there are certain losses are there, and transmission cost is also there when the load center is more than the desired place. OTEC plant has several limitations and techno-economic constraints, hence their commercial prospects are quite uncertain. And techno-economic constraint, hence their commercial prospects are quite uncertain. Limitations, we can say that OTEC technology is in infant stage. It is the beginning of resource for renewable energy resources. It is a costly and difficult. This technology is costly and difficult. Corrosion of metal parts due to saline water, means saline water is used in whole system. Therefore, some metal parts that get corroded and their life get reduced. Salts get deposited in pipes and equipment because of saline water. The salt gets deposited in pipes and equipment, but this salt, and therefore maintenance is difficult. So here this is the disadvantages of the salt. But when we are using solar pond, that brine, we are using working fluid. So we are using brine as a working fluid in solar pond. So what happened in that, we are using the saline water, sodium chloride. So that brine is absorbed the solar energy of the solar radiation, and this energy is used to convert the liquid water into steam form. But here this brine get deposited in pipes and equipment, therefore maintenance is difficult. So plant size is limited to about 100 megawatt due to large size of component. Algae grow in pipes and obstructs water flow. Algae grow in pipes, and therefore when there is some and therefore obstructions of the water flow, because when there is some disturbance in the flow of the water, so the flow which require is for the certain purposes, so our objective cannot be fulfilled. Plant is subjected to ocean streams and high waves. It is subjected to very high stresses because high waves are there because of certain lunar and solar effects, because of their gravitational forces, different gravitational forces. So these forces will create the tides and water waves are generated, and that will impact on the surface of the pipelines through which working fluid and water is also flowing. So plant is and therefore the life of the plant get reduced because of these high stresses. So these are the disadvantages of ocean thermal energy conversion. Next is the geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is derived from high temperature geothermal fluids. So as the name shows, the energy which is lie inside the earth, means inside, this is the surface of, we can say, surface of earth. Okay, so from this to suppose this area, there are certain hot rocks are there, and these hot rocks will responsible or will create or will transfer that energy to the surrounded liquid region. So hot rocks, or we can say that is magma there. So what happened, these hot rocks or magma having the heat, and when we have to utilize this energy, we have to make some tendrils here, means we have to create holes, make holes here, thereby the heat of that water which is surrounded to hot rocks and hotted water is there, that we can use to convert into steam form, and also because certain impurities are there that we have to separate out by using certain separator, and then steam is used to transfer to the turbine, and turbine is working, and thereby generator is used to generate the electricity through the turbine. So this can be utilized for power generation and thermal application like greenhouse cultivation. In greenhouse effect, that we can use hot water irrigation in certain cold countries where temperature is very low, so hot water is required. And cooking also, in cooking what we can do, like in solar heating system we can use solar cooker. Similarly in this we utilize this heat energy of the hot rock magma that can be flow through the, we can create a space and there a working fluid which is used to heat the cooking system get heated by transferring the energy from the hot rock magma. Process heat electrical power generation. Generally geothermal energy is available inside the earth at a depth more than about 80 km. So it is only available, means the required, means the energy which is in useful form that we can utilize or convert into, means into some means that we can convert water into steam. So it is at a depth more than about 80 km. There are two types of geothermal deposit, namely hydrogeothermal energy deposit and petrogeothermal energy deposit. First one is of hot water type and second one is of hot dry rock type. Means there are two things, hot water and hot rock. Hot water and hot rock. So depend upon the application, we can convert the heat of the hot rock directly, or the water which is surrounded to the hot rock, means through and the water get heated, and by using the hot water heat that we can use for some useful application. So in this, what is happening, this heat, we can say that like this is the surface, we are making a drill here, drill, and steam is, separator is there, that separator is separate out the impurity from the drill, this energy which is used to transfer to the turbine, and this steam, or we can say the energy which is used to run the turbine, and then turbine is used to run the generator, and after turbine that steam is converted into, the pressure of the steam is reduces, and we can use the cooling tower to convert that steam into liquid form, and then this water is again injected inside the this surface of the earth. Means that water in liquid form injected through this, and this again takes the energy from the hot rock, and the temperature of this water again means increasing, and again we can utilize this for some commercial purposes. But in other type of energy, means solar energy resources like that, that water is recirculated through the pump, means that is not injected to the inside the earth. So this is the difference. Geothermal energy is another energy source that can be harnessed for. Now, in a few locations called geothermal field in the world, the geothermal energy is available at depths of 300 meter to 3 kilometers. Means certain locations are there where the energy, heated energy, is very less than the very close to the range of the surface of the earth. Are mainly the countries like USA, former USSR, Philippines, Mexico, New Zealand, Japan, Italy, Indonesia, and Hungary. Three major geothermal power plants, one in Italy with 450 megawatt, in New Zealand, and the third in California of USA with 600 megawatt installed capacity. So these are the three major plants in the world. India has about 150 known geothermal sites having geothermal fluids of moderate and low temperature. Means moderate and low temperature geothermal fluids are there. The worth mentioning hydrogeothermal resources locations are Puga hydrothermal plant in Ladakh, 5 kilowatt plant at Manikaran near Kullu in Himachal Pradesh. That heated water we can use to take for some bath or for some other purposes. These hot water is also called springs. Then in MP, except this is the hot springs are founded in northwest Himalayan region, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Damodar Valley. So this is the brief about geothermal energy. In detail we can study in the coming slides how we can classify the resources through which the geothermal energy can be utilized, like vapor dominated systems, magma hot rock systems. Now there are certain advantages and disadvantages of geothermal energy. So merits are, it offers an inexhaustible and versatile source of energy. Means inexhaustible, it is always present inside the earth and it is constant source of energy. and it is at the very large area, means, and because of some frictions over the surfaces of the earth, which lies inside the surface of the earth, and therefore constant source of energy is there. It is naturally available, hence less expensive. No extra effort is required to develop these. It causes negligible pollution. Pollution is there, but it is negligible. Guarantee of power generation is more than wind and solar energies. Means for wind energy is depend upon the solar energy. Certain pressure is required to run the turbine for wind energy. Similarly, solar energy, in what happen, we need, means clear sky. If cloudy nature is there, then solar energy cannot be utilized. These can be used for many other purposes such as heating and cooling. And the disadvantages of this type of energy is surface subsidence sometimes results due to withdrawal of large amount of steam or water from a geothermal source. Means when we are taking, means what is happening, we are creating a drill there inside the surface of the earth, so there is a chance of dislocation of the particular area, and therefore some vacancy is created, and therefore it is hazardous. Air pollution result in case of release of gases like hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, CO2 present in the steam and hot water coming out of these geothermal sources. So this will create air pollution, these gases. Noise pollution is there because we have to drill that earth, surface of the earth, and therefore noise is there and impurities are there in the geothermal field. The overall efficiency for power generation is quite low, means that is 15% compared to 35 to 40% of fossil fuels. Now next is the electricity is generated from solar thermal energy. So now we will discuss how the solar energy we can utilize in a commercial manner, how commercially we can utilize this energy. So in this, solar thermal power plants use the sun rays to heat a fluid to high temperatures. So in this diagram we see that these are solar radiations. The fluid is, so solar radiations falls on this mirror. These are these on these surfaces, like in these surfaces. What happened? These are basically the mirrors having certain curvature. So when these rays falls, solar radiation falls on this surface, they get reflected and falls on this, along this region. So this is basically the focal point. The fluid is circulated through pipes. Now inside this a fluid is flowing that absorbs the energy of this solar radiation and transfer this flowing hot fluid in this direction, and transfer the energy to water, and then it converted into steam, and that steam is used to run the turbine. This is the turbine, and that turbine is used to run the generator, and thereby electricity is produced. Now after this steam is converted into water, and again this water takes the heat from this area and converted into steam for generation of electricity. The steam is converted into mechanical energy in a turbine which powers a generator to produce electricity. Now solar energy collectors. So there are different type of solar energy collectors. First is flat plate collectors. This again divided into, we can say, liquid collectors, air collectors. Then concentrating collectors. These are of two types, focusing type and non-focusing. focusing type of collector. And then these we can say that then parabolic throw collector is one of the focusing type of collector. So these we can discuss in detail. Now types of solar thermal power plants, that is parabolic. A is the parabolic trough, the shape of this is parabolic in nature. Then solar dish is there, shape is like a dish is there, that this dish is rotating in nature as per the direction of the solar radiations, so that we can utilize the solar energy maximum and concentrate over a particular point. Then solar power tower is there. So these are the three solar thermal power plants. Now first is the parabolic trough. A parabolic trough is a type of solar thermal collector that is straight in one dimension and curved as a parabola in the other two, lined with a polished metal mirror. So this is a mirror with polished, so that the radiations can get reflected from when they are falling on the surface of over here. And they all after reflecting this reason, it is a straight line in one dimension and curved as a parabola in the other two, lined with a polished metal mirror. The energy of sunlight which enters the mirror parallel to its plane of symmetry is focused along the focal line where objects are positioned that are intended to be heated. Means along this the fluid is heated. The fluid is heated, so that heated fluid is used to generate the means for again is utilized to for run the turbine, and thereby electricity is generated. Next is the so we will next we will discuss about solar dish in the next session. So this is total about the today's session. Thank you.